going to do here today is we're going to hear a bit about what else is going on in the world, hear from someone that's been at Occupy Wall Street, maybe about what's been going on in Spain and elsewhere, talk a bit about why we're thinking of occupying the London Stock Exchange next week, and let's get everybody excited and engaged and the chance to get involved in making this amazing thing happen next weekend. How does that sound?
A friend of mine from Occupy Wall Street was about to come today, but his flight was delayed. He sent me a statement that I'm just going to read out to you now. He says, "I spent the night surrounded by occupation, revolutionaries, dreamers, collected love and shout-outs from Boston to London, watched a young anarchist climb up the Federal Building and wave the black flag high, spoke with the homeless man, now the night watchman for an occupation he's been waiting for his whole life. Can't remember when he felt so good about himself, about life, about the future. Spoke with a female cop who's on our side because no one's on hers. Met a veteran fighting against the war since he fought the war. Fighting his own wars and our wars. And finally winning. Sat with a circle of high schoolers who just discovered Marx and Led Zeppelin and democracy and action. With that burning idealism we all need. Now back at the airport, writing down my thoughts before I'm whisked away for school, for love, for revolution, and smiling a stupid grin as I think of tonight and tomorrow. Woohoo!
Saw what was going on at Wall Street. I'm obviously incredibly inspired. And saw what had been going on in Spain since May. But I'm sure most of you have heard about the Spanish movements there, the M15 movement, the Indignados. So they've been occupying popular squares in Spain since May and having these incredible demonstrations of what real democracy looks like. And they called on October the 15th an international day of action, Unite for Global Change. And what has happened is that has been mobilised, and on October the 15th, that's next Saturday, there are things happening in hundreds of cities, in dozens of countries, all over the world. It is a truly international day of action next weekend, and we want to be part of it.
Yeah! One of the same problems over there. People are losing their jobs. Education is being cut, healthcare is being cut. And so about 2 or 3 months ago, people started getting together in assemblies like this, and the idea was posed to get together on Wall Street. And so, you know, over a few weeks this happened, and you know, I didn't think it was going to be a big thing, a lot of people didn't think it was going to be a big thing, but a lot of people still had a lot of hope. And so, you know, it's actually happening. You know, there was 100 of us there the first few days. Now there's over 30,000 on some days. So, as I'm sure you heard, a lot of people on Occupy Wall Street are being fucked around by the cops, and that sucks, right? And I'm sad not to be there with them, as I'm sure other people are, but I'm really happy to be here occupying London with you guys. And it was never just about occupying Wall Street, it was about occupying everything.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to say is there's a common thread that sort of unites everything that's happening in Spain, what's happening in Greece, what's happening in the US and what's happening here now. And I think there's something very, very important is that it doesn't matter whether you're Tory, whether you're Labour, whether you're Lib Dem, if you're a communist, if you're not, it doesn't matter. We're all in this together. Yeah. We are the 99% that's fighting against the 1% that works in there and the 1% that's further down in the city. The banks are taking everything away from us. It doesn't matter where you're sitting, your ideology. Yeah. We're all in this together. We have to fight together.
Yeah. So a special interest of mine is reading the autobiographies, reading the radical newspapers of people that have done this before and people that have done it wrong. But out of doing it wrong, we can learn and we can do it right and we can get it better next time. And we can remember that every successful movement fails at first. Every successful movement has its low points, and every successful movement obviously eventually wins. So I just want to read.
What we're going to do in a second is get you guys involved in these discussions and get thinking about why is it we want to do this and how is it that we want to do this.
Not everybody that can get involved in these kind of things, like when people use a phrase like putting themselves on the line, not everybody has the same kind of privilege that some kind of people do, so just realise not everybody can come down that wants to come down. Yeah. Thanks.
Organisation from day one on the day.
Organisation from day one on the day.
We felt that Saturday is a nice idea, but that nobody cares because the city's going to be shut down anyways. And we thought it'd be much more effective if we were there on Friday and we actually did shut down the exchange. That was basically what we thought.
We think that occupying the London Stock Exchange should try to include as many people from as many backgrounds, from as many different social classes as
Possible.
Protect NHS!
Protect NHS.
You do not want an American system of healthcare!
We do not want an American system of healthcare.
I've just got one very quick call. We are all here from all over the UK, able to discuss because UK Uncut called us. We need these contacts all over the nation. That's why I called upon UK Uncut. Start linking groups together. Start exchanging contacts among the groups so we can talk to each other. In order to link up with Occupy Wall Street in America.
In order to link up with Occupy Wall Street in America.
And with the protests in Spain.
And with the protests in Spain.
And with the students and the workers in Greece.
With the students and the workers in Greece.
And in Italy.
And in Italy.
And the Middle East.
And the Middle East.
We have to move to fight the same people that they are fighting. That's why it's so important. That we go to the City of London.
We go to the City of London.
That we occupy the Stock Exchange.
And we occupy the Stock Exchange.
And we work with people across the world.
We work with people across the world.
To have a fair and more democratic society.
To have a fair and more democratic society.
We are an example of democracy in action.
We are the example of democracy in action.
We also talked about
We've also talked about
the creation of money
the creation of money
and how money, the money system,
and how money and the money system
is turning us all into debt slaves. There's also, we also talked about those that control the means of production. We also talked about issuing protest currencies. Thank you. We need to have discussions. Entertainment. And engagement of all who attend. Thank you.
Also, from Wall Street, we learned that the Wall Street occupation wasn't only an occupation. They constantly did actions from Wall Street where they would march and support other struggles. Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
We're coming to an end
We're coming to an end
of this General Assembly. At the first General Assembly in Wall Street, there were 70 people. Now there are tens of thousands. We are already more than 70.